Today we're going to start talking about fractions. So we have a few fraction terms that we're going to talk about first. The first one is equivalent fraction. That is a fraction that has the same value. So two different fractions that, even though they're different, they have the same value. The second one is simplest form. This is the form of a fraction when the GCF of the numerator and the denominator is 1. It means it cannot be any smaller. Okay, so we're going to talk about first how to find equivalent fractions. To find an equivalent fraction, you're going to take the denominator and multiply it by a whole number. Then you're going to take that same whole number and you're going to multiply it by the numerator. Okay, so if we have a fraction of 3/4, I chose the whole number of 2. I'm going to multiply my denominator by 2. Anything I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. So I'm going to also multiply my numerator by 2. So when I do that, 4 times 2 is 8, 3 times 2 is 6. So our equivalent fraction to 3/4 is 6/8. Okay, you will also come across fractions that need to be simplified. Okay, so here's how we simplify or reduce a fraction. To put it in the simplest form, you must first find your GCF, both of the numerator and the denominator. Then you're going to divide each one of those, numerator and denominator, by the GCF that you found. Okay, so if we have 16 and 20, the first thing we're going to do is factor them out and find our greatest common factor. So with 16, we get 2 and 8. 2 is prime, so we circle it. Then with 8, we get 2 and 4. 2 is prime, so we circle it. And 4, we get 2 and 2. Those are both prime, so we circle it. Then for 20, we do the same thing. We get 2 and 10. 2 is prime, so I circle it. 10 breaks down into 2 and 5. Those are both prime, so we circle them. Then we look for our matches. We have a 2 here and a 2 here. That's a 2 in common. We have another 2 here and here, so that's another 2 that they have in common. They have nothing else in common, so we multiply 2 times 2. That gives us 4. So our GCF of 16 and 20 is 4. Now I take this GCF and I move it up here and I divide my numerator and denominator by 4. So 16 divided by 4 gives me 4. And 20 divided by 4 gives me 5. So that means that 16/20 simplifies to 4/5. So let's try one together. If we have 50 100ths, we would first need to find our GCF. So we come over here, we factor out 50. What two numbers multiply to 50? Good. We can have 5 and 10 or 2 and 25. I'm going to go 5 and 10. They're either one of them prime. Good. 5. So we factor out the 10. What two numbers multiply to 10? And are either one of those prime? They both are. Good. Okay, then we come over here and do the same thing with 100. What two numbers multiply to 100? 10 and 10. Neither of those are prime, so we factor them both. What two numbers multiply to 10? 2 and 5. They are both prime. And we do the same thing here. Now we can go through and we can find our matches. I have a 5 here and here, so that's a 5 in common. I have a 5 here and here, that's another 5 in common. And then I have a 2 and a 2, so that's another 2 in common. Then I multiply. 5 times 5 is 25. And then times 2 equals 50. So that means our GCF is 50. Then I come in and I divide top and bottom, my numerator and my denominator, by 50. When I do that, 50 divided by 50 is 1. And 100 divided by 50 is 2. So my simplified fraction is 1/2. Okay. Here's another one, 24/40. I want you to work through this and then we will check it together.